Robert S. Strauss is the most remarkable political leader and diplomat of the 20th century.
He is about as well as anyone else could exemplify what starts here changes the world.
A giant in the field of law, he's a giant in public service, he's a giant in the public sector.
He brought people together who were smart, who understood various endeavors, various intellectual pursuits, and he made those different talents work together in a harmonious way.
The last U.S. ambassador to the Soviet Union, and was there during the transformation when the Soviet Union fell apart.
He's had a tremendous impact on American foreign policy, American domestic policy.
And the more disharmonious the factions were, the better his talents were realized.
So Bob Strauss's name was the perfect name to be affiliated with this effort.
Bob Strauss's contributions are forever woven into the fabric of this university because of the Strauss Center.
The world after 9/11 left many students, researchers, the public with a lot of questions about how the world worked, what were the dangers in the world, how should the U.S. respond, and most of the research centers like ours have been set up to deal with a completely different world, Cold War problems, the Soviet Union.
And so when you look at the incredible complexity and interconnectedness of the different challenges in the world, and then you look at a lot of the contemporary university model, you see a disconnect.
As we think about the types of problems we're increasingly confronting in the world, things like violent non-state actors, disruptive climate change and the conflicts that can spur, cybersecurity issues, the sorts of problems that can't be addressed effectively unless you bring to bear an interdisciplinary perspective.
There was not a facility in this country that was attached to an academic institution that was looking broadly at the problems of the world and trying to solve the problems of international security and international law.
How could we get the university, with all its resources, focused more on international affairs?
It struck us that a university should be the place where we try to understand and wrestle with this, both the dangers and the opportunities, to come up with the most effective policies for our national leaders, to come up with the best curriculum to teach our students.
We had approached Bob Strauss about endowing a chair that would be focused on our interest in international affairs, given his distinguished career.
Among the feelings he had was that there was this ever-increasing sort of gulf between the academic world and the real world.
He indicated he wasn't really interested in a chair, and the idea of making this a center was born.
It became the Robert S. Strauss Center for International Security and Law.
The vision for the Strauss Center is to address from an interdisciplinary point of view questions of national security and global security and diplomacy.
We went to look at what Harvard and Stanford did, and we said, what can we do better? What can we do that brings the unique Texas stamp to understanding global affairs and global policy?
It was critical that this not just be another forum for giving speeches. The challenge for the Strauss Center from the beginning was to create dialogues.
So I think this was the perfect place to set up the Strauss Center because of the university and because of the state, particularly the focus on multidisciplinary approach.
Everything is connected. You can't find a single problem in the world today that can be isolated, that sits in a stovepipe.
The drive here was to try to create new centers of influence away from the Washington-Baltimore corridor, to think broadly about how this country interacts with the rest of the world.
We wanted it to actually engage people who were in the world of making decisions. We also wanted it to be interdisciplinary. We wanted to work with anyone and everyone around campus who was smart and interested in the global challenges that we face.
The fact that it pools together the talents that we have, it's a vehicle for everyone to work together, to collaborate in ways that won't happen within their own schools or departments.
We've dealt with the law school, historians, political scientists, physicists, people from information sciences, the business school.
I like to think of the center as a meeting place where these ideas can be shared and specific policy recommendations come from that.
Not only are we a place that comes up with great solutions and great conversations, but we've also been recruiting terrific talent here. World-class scholars, world-class thinkers.
I'd worked for over a decade in Washington and London and Dubai in different national security policy positions. And when I was looking for a university to affiliate with, I realized that the Strauss Center was pretty much the best and only option, because it was about the only place I could find that really wanted to do policy relevant academic research engaged with real world problems, and that appreciated and understood the vantage point of the policymaker.
The world is full of significant policy problems, certainly in the realm of international security. Having a mechanism whereby those of us at UT who care a lot about having an impact on policy can pool our resources together and can produce something that's even better thanks to our collaborations, and then getting it into the hands of policymakers for actual use.
We've been able to attract support from a variety of different directions. Getting the Department of Defense to fund a multi-year program studying Africa, climate change, brought something totally new to the campus.
Another really important aspect of the Strauss Center is the Next Generation Scholars and Fellows program, which exists to train and mentor UT undergraduates in policy relevant research. Also, we have the Crook Fellowship that enables UT students to volunteer with different NGOs in developing countries each summer, addressing issues like poverty and oppression and environmental degradation.
There is a fire that burns deeply within the students here in Austin to learn more, know more, and to participate more.
The sorts of issues the Strauss Center was designed to take on: non-state actors engaged in violence, proliferation of WMDs. These sorts of issues are going to become ever more complex, ever more significant, ever more numerous.
The Strauss Center is doing what we had envisioned it would be doing 5 years ago.
We believe that the kind of innovation that takes place at the University of Texas, if we could apply that to national and international security, that the nation and the world would be a much better place.
Texas as a state and the University of Texas should be on the forefront of cutting-edge thinking and teaching, and international law and security is one of those grand challenges that we face.
It's a bit daunting because these are big challenges and complicated challenges, but those are exactly the sort of challenges and opportunities the Strauss Center was created to tackle.
It's critical that we embark upon this in a very, very significant way.
The Strauss Center is poised to bring together all the different resources on our amazing campus, get their students involved, and then producing policy-relevant research that will actually help our country deal with these problems.
And there'll be problems tomorrow and next year, and the Strauss Center will be equipped to confront those problems and come up with solutions to the problems.
If we can effectively merge various parts of the university so we bring a multidimensional educational philosophy to important questions of the day, we will bring new knowledge to the world. There is no doubt about that.